this like blows people's minds. But I don't watch football.
No maybe, no hope, no I'm doing my best.
No one will ever come to you and say, oh, you've changed my life. Like, that would never happen for a footballer.
How old are your kids?
6 and 4.
6 and 4, and they're talking about mindset.
Hugging trees and taking your shoes off and like walking on the ground and shit. That's why I love Ronaldo. How the fuck am I going to play for Liverpool if I can't get in the squad here? Like, it made no sense to me.
Good afternoon, East Talks business fans and friends. Amazing day today. I have a very close friend of mine as well, and we have been talking to each other for some time about very different views. For me, his passion and his background being an athlete, especially in the football side, which is one of my favorite sports that everybody knows about it. And when I say here football, I mean soccer, not the American football. We'll hear about it from him. At the same time, he transformed completely and he started to change the way he think of how to help people other than they cheer for him and shout with his name in the stadiums. He decided to move and help them from another side of the story where he built Self. We will hear about Self from my good friend here, Kevin Stewart. Nice to meet you today.
Good intro.
And thank you so much for accepting to be with us on East Talks Business. Usually we invite the right people, and I think we have always been successful in that, and you're one of them for sure. So it's a pleasure to have you with us here today.
Amazing.
Before we start, I wanted to give you a background. You give us a background, give the audience a background about, first of all, who's Kevin?
Who am I? I'm very driven. Someone very driven. Like I've always had a strong sense of self, of like what I want to do, and that changes. But from the large part of my life, my whole life was just about becoming a footballer, like the best footballer. It was me and my dad at it every single day, just wanting to be the best footballer. We didn't even have like a massive dream and vision. We were just like, I want to be the best on this team, then I want to be the best at that team, then I'll keep moving. So my whole life was competition. I was also like one of the best runners in the UK when I was like 12, 13. Then I had to pack it in to play football to kind of decide. So I'm a competitor, really, just competitor, someone who's highly ambitious, highly driven, and my purpose has just changed over the period of my life. Okay. So then it was become the best footballer I could be, and then it was like, okay, maybe I can do that and actually help my family at the same time. Then after that, where I'm at now, it's like how many lives can I impact? Okay,
that's a good start. So football first.
Yeah.
Because you just say it as a very normal thing, which it's a very humble thing from your side, to be honest, knowing football and loving football. Can you give us just a brief about the teams that you've been playing in?
Yeah, so I started at Spurs. That was my first like professional team.
Tottenham,
yeah.
Okay.
Started at Tottenham, and then I was there for about 8 years. That's where I really came through. That's where I learnt my craft, and became a proper professional. And then from Spurs, I went to Liverpool. Then I was there for 3 years. And then I got bought from Liverpool to Hull City, then Hull City to Blackpool. Blackpool was my last club. With a few loans in between, but League One clubs, you guys probably won't even know about.
The League Two, yeah.
Only the English guys will know.
So the Premier League parts are 4 teams. Tottenham?
No, only
Liverpool?
2. Hull City went from the Premier League to the Championship when I joined.
Okay.
So they just got relegated.
Okay.
So the two Premier League teams would be Spurs and Liverpool.
And Liverpool. So how do you think about Mo Salah?
Mo Salah, it's hard. You know, I got the opportunity to play with him for only 3 weeks.
Okay.
Because when the summer he came was the summer I left.
Wow.
So we trained for 3 weeks.
Okay.
Which is crazy because at the time when I seen him, he is very he's a bit raw, isn't he?
Yeah.
So when we first seen him, a lot of players were like, whoa, he's a bit raw. Like some of the like tiny mistakes he was making was a bit like, But then he just exploded, went crazy.
Yeah, I think he's doing amazing job.
Killer,
I mean, if you ask me, and not because of my Egyptian side, but I think the guy deserves to be definitely, if not the number 1 player in the world, he should be definitely 1 or 2.
But just like here, I love guys that also have like a story and a teaching to them rather than just being athletes. That's why I love Ronaldo. Yeah. Ronaldo teaches health, he teaches like mindset. That's what you associate with him. And Mo Salah's the same. Like he puts a lot of his success down to just discipline and healthy living.
Yeah.
Just no You know, a lot of English players, they just drink all the time and they try and push that agenda. I'm like, I don't like that.
I saw the photo after the second goal in Southampton a couple of days back, and I was seeing, oh my God, this guy is really disciplined in what he does.
Yeah.
So back to Steve, to Kevin, what made you stop football and move to the next phase?
It was a process, you know, like I started getting into business as I started getting a bit older. I started to realize football's fragile. It could always end at whatever point. I needed to diversify a little bit. So I started getting into the property world. So I started investing in property. Then as I started doing that and networking and getting in that space and getting friends who were entrepreneurs, I kind of saw their life. I liked it, like the freedom that they were doing, how much they were impacting people. And I always felt like playing football, you never really impacted anyone. Like no one will ever come to you and say, oh, you've changed my life. Like that would never happen for a footballer. Maybe someone like Ronaldo, maybe. But no one else really. You don't really get that. But my friends would get that all the time. Like I was like, I kind of started envying that. So in my mind, I started building this other life in my head as I was playing. And a few different factors. I started getting bad injuries towards the end. And I went periods in my career where I hadn't played for a while, whether it be injuries, whether it be COVID happened. And I didn't have a club for a while because it was the world just went crazy. Sure. All the clubs, no one was spending money. And my contract happened to end that in COVID. So I spent periods of time where I then turned into a bit of an entrepreneur. Like then I was just like, okay, I'm training, but then I'm doing a lot of business because I'm not playing. So I kind of like in my mind started building this life. Maybe I was manifesting, I don't know, but I started building this life, and I started getting crazy injuries, like stupid injuries that you couldn't even imagine. So like I said, I was always a runner. Yeah. So I was very, very good at running. This is my strength. Like the fittest at every club I've been at. Like anyone that'll play, they'll say Kevin's a different level in terms of fitness.
Running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I couldn't run like 500 meters without my calves going every time. Ridiculous, like 10 times each side.
So there were signs basically happening.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, this is weird. This is really strange. I went across the world. I went to see expert after expert. No one could fix it. Nothing changed. I got it, fix it a little bit, then it will go back to normal, and I'll go again. I was like in and out. So I didn't play for probably about a year and a half, which was crazy. And it got to the point where in football's very unforgiving. Like it doesn't matter who you are.
True.
It doesn't matter who you are. If you haven't played for a year and a half, it's so competitive. There's so many people coming up. Clubs like don't care. Yeah. Oh, you play for Liverpool? Don't care. Like you haven't played for a year. So I knew that I'd have to carry these injuries, but also I'd have to start, not again, but I'd have to start lower down and work my way up. And I looked at it and I was like,
it's not worth it.
Not worth it. I don't think it's going to keep giving me the life that I want. And I also have this idea of this life that I want here as well. So that's
in the back of your mind.
So the problem with a lot of footballers is a lot of them get to this situation, but they don't feel like they have any other options. So they have to take whatever they get. So I like this. I want to show footballers what's possible. Like you don't have to
accept.
You don't have to play go across the world and play in the Antarctica first division because that's all you have. That's a lot of people get trapped. Like a lot of footballers don't want to play anymore. Like, I did want to play. Like I love football. Like I love playing. I didn't necessarily want to stop playing. But
it's not to lower your value by accepting anything just to play.
That as well. But then I felt like I started to become a bit of a slave to football.
Okay.
And I just thought I'm better than it. I'm better than that to become a slave. I was like, there's this I want to do and I could do it. I could carry on going. I'm probably not going to go any further than I've already been. I already achieved my dream of playing for Liverpool in the Premier League. I'm like, I can't see myself exceeding that. So I can have carry on playing, get more of what I've already having, maybe keep getting injured, maybe be 35 and then start what I'm doing now. And I'll be 5 years behind. I just thought.
So that was this transformational time that you figured out.
Yeah.
Signs of injuries is very clear.
Yeah.
I will never lower my value just to play football, even I love it so much.
Yeah.
And third thing, I saw other people impacting people, and I want to be the same person. Does that summarize?
Yeah. It's like God was like shutting that door for me. Like,
clear.
The more I tried,
directing.
I didn't just go straight away. Like I tried to make it work over and over again. The more I tried, the harder it got. So I was like, all right, now I surrender now. All right, cool. Like I'm listening. I'll do it.
Which team you support?
Liverpool.
So still Liverpool.
Yeah.
Okay.
As a boy, I support Liverpool as a boy.
Okay. So how do you see the new coach?
Do you know what? Since I finished playing, I didn't even watch football that much when I was playing. This like blows people's minds, but I don't watch football. Since I stopped playing, like, I haven't even watched a game.
Really?
Serious. That was like a year ago.
That's
I know.
crazy.
I probably watched a game here or there.
To believe.
Yeah, people don't believe it. People don't believe it.
Okay.
But I was never that big of a fan of watching football when I played.
I'm gonna play football.
I like to study football.
Yeah.
I don't like to watch it. I can't watch it. If I watch it, I'll study it.
You start analyzing.
Yeah. So I can't switch off.
So it's the same. Like, for example, me as a speaker, for example, when I start watching people speaking on stage, I start how he's talking, how he's moving, his hands, his gestures, and so on. And it turned out to be more analyzing without focusing on the real talk or the content. Makes a lot of sense. Moving to self.
Yeah.
What is self?
Yeah. So self-training is probably what is what I call it. Self-train. That's it's just my coaching company, coaching program. I started online. Started an online coaching program where I just naturally started coaching entrepreneurs, business owners. Started off at fitness, then I went to mindset because I realized that most people struggle with fitness because they struggle with mindset. So if you fix their mindset, then you fix their fitness. But then also when you fix their mindset, you fix their marriage, you fix their health problems, you fix their fitness, you fix their performance at work, like all across the board. So everything's mindset. So I started realizing that the more I learned on that first, everything else started fixing and working for them. And this is everything that I use and that I developed throughout my career. Everything I needed to do, everything I had to develop to get to the next level. Like I always say, I was just never as talented as the majority of other people. So I had to rely on something else. And that was just like mindset, continuously self-developing, continuously reinventing myself, like going the extra mile that other people weren't willing to go just so I could like be level with them or beat them.
So this complements, let's say, complementing that you're not a top talent by complementing it with the self kind of awareness part, first of all, self-development, studying, understanding more, your mindset impacting this soccer playing at the same time.
100%, yeah.
So when you're doing the self-train right now, what's your goal?
My goal is the goal is to carry on creating a life for myself, doing what I love doing. That's a big fear for footballers. Like after they finish playing, it's their whole life, it's all they love doing. What else do they love? A lot of people don't have anything. So the biggest thing for me is like, I can't not do what I like, especially being a footballer. You can't go back to now doing something you don't like. It's hard.
It's very hard.
as like a 9-to-5er or even like an entrepreneur, business owner, through your life, you've probably done a lot of jobs you don't like doing. So you're kind of used to it. But as a footballer, I can't go back like to doing something I don't like. So it's like doing that, staying aligned to doing what I enjoy doing. And if it's not football, then it's coaching, but not football coaching. It has to be life coaching.
So this is more on the life coaching side.
This is life coaching.
You've been, same as me, as I think, you've been also coached by bold coaches in your career until this moment. What did you learn from them, the top three? I've learned from bold coaches, and I always say that I feel like I've always had the best coaches. Like I've always like been blessed to have the best coaches. When I played at Spurs, and then I looked at like Liverpool at the time or Man United, and I looked at their coaches, I'm like, I have the best one here. And then that coach who was the best, he went to Liverpool. He moved.
That's how I got to Liverpool.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Klopp came, and then I had Klopp, so he was the best.
Jürgen.
And then and then even like people outside of football that I got mentored by, I just thought they were the best. So the top things that I learned, especially the ones in football, is they were so mindset focused. Like it's like they overlooked skill, and they were looking at potential and how people acted, like their characteristics. So I would like, so now I go and work at companies, right? I try and I will improve their performance. I help individuals like overcome self-sabotage, increase their performance. But I can also help the owners weed out the people that aren't right. Because in my life and in the culture of football, you're always being analyzed on little tiny things.
Small things.
Like how you enter the room, how you're eating, how you leave your plate on the table.
People will woo at you.
Everything. Like the coach that I had, they always analyze things. So that's how I developed it. So I developed a really good understanding of like who's a winner. And the fact that you did that in the canteen, I probably know I can't rely on you when we're playing and we've got 10 men and everything's going to get really tough. It's a reflection.
Okay.
But people weren't that analytical. A lot of coaches weren't that analytical. Yeah. But my coaches were. So I was also thought like everything was a rehearsal. Like I'm thinking about the way I sit. Am I sitting confident? Am I sitting here? Because he's judging me.
Yeah. Exactly.
And he will choose the team based on like the overall picture, not just how I perform.
Okay, so it's not only about what you do in the field, it's everything you do in your life.
Yeah.
How you transform this to change and coach people about it? What do you tell them on the mindset part?
So a lot of on an individual basis or like a company?
Yeah,
Individually,
yeah.
So one thing that helped me a lot as well is that because I had to be so analytical of myself, I naturally was like very self-aware. I'd always reflect inwards. If something's not going right, I'm like, why is it not going right? What am I doing? Or how am I behaving? And then I'm like, that's going to give me an answer of why this is going wrong or why my performance isn't going right. Then I realized that I started to understand how I'm sabotaging, like in my mindset, in my belief systems. And they were so subtle. So I always say there's two forms of self-sabotage. One's like very obvious. So like, I want to be a professional footballer, but I go and drink every night. It's very obvious. Like just stop drinking, work harder, obvious.
Okay.
I didn't have that problem. I always worked as hard as I possibly could.
Discipline was there.
Always, very easy. I would always do the work. If you told me to wake up at 1 a.m. in the morning and train, I would do it.
You will do it.
I would do it. But then my sabotage was very subtle. Mine was like in my mind. Like sometimes I wouldn't believe in myself. I'd have a lot of self-doubt. That's what I had to fight against.
Okay.
So like, okay, I'm working so hard, but why am I not achieving what I want to achieve? Or why is this guy working half as much as me, but he's doing better than me? I never understood that. It took a long time for me to figure that out because my sabotage was subtle. So it was a belief system. So now I had to study myself for so many years to figure out how I was sabotaging myself. Now I can see the sabotage in other people very easy because mine was so hard to find. So now I see it so easy in other people. So I can tell by, if I'm like coaching a client, I can tell by the word that he used. If you said, maybes, hopes, if they say something like that, I'm like, you don't believe in what you just said.
Thank you so much. I love that because it's the first thing I tell anyone I work with, either in the corporate world or in my private part. No maybe, no hope, no I'm doing my best. These three words for me are always given.
And try.
I don't
try as well.
Try. Let's try. Let's try.
Wake up. I want you to wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning.
I will try.
I want you to wake up 5 a.m. in the morning, go to the gym.
It's clear.
All right, I'll try.
It's clear.
No, there's no try because it's not like someone's stopping you.
Yes.
If you like,
it's your decision.
Like Kev, score a hat trick. All right, I'll try. That's fair enough because you've got defenders that are going to just try and stop you. No one's stopping you from getting up to go to the gym. There's no try.
I like that. So this is clear discipline part. I heard a lot about your views in general, and I saw most of them, and we discussed about it before. You moved to Dubai recently.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
This time last year I moved, but then I had a period where I went back.
When you went back and forth, but now you decided to stay in Dubai.
Yeah.
Okay. Living in Dubai for a very long time for myself and all my friends and colleagues and everyone we know here, they know that relationships are quite hard to build in Dubai.
Yeah.
To have a stable relationship in Dubai is something big question mark. I know you're married and God bless your wife and the kids. I'm sure they're enjoying Dubai weather, but do you as Kevin believe, is it very hard to find a partner as a woman that can help you build yourself in Dubai for long term, as people say?
Yeah, it's hard. Like I have a lot of single friends and we talk about it all the time. And I think it depends on you. I think it depends on you and where you are, what places you're visiting, what's your intentions here. So if you're out partying every night, you're gonna find it hard to find someone. Because the reason why you're partying, I'm not saying partying is always bad. Enjoy yourself sometimes, whatever. But the intentions of why you're going out, you're only gonna match that with intentions of why other people are out. So if you're out to try and impress people, or if you're out trying to just like get drunk because you're so stressed and you're trying to drink and just have a good time, then you're gonna meet other people that are like that.
Same way.
Then you're not gonna meet high quality people. But if you're going to business events all the time, like we went both at the Gladiator Summit, if I was single, I had to find one, I'll be like, okay, who's the person that I like? What kind of values do they have? Where would they be? So it depends where you go.
So again, it's a mindset.
It's always mindset, yeah.
So
everything's self. Everything's reflective of self. Like if you have a bad relationship with yourself in a certain area, then you're gonna have a lot of bad people in your life.
So do you think it's also related to energy, in a way? So when you think back to the intentions, as you mentioned. When you go out in Dubai, you have an intention. I'm going to drink because I'm this. Like, I will meet the same people who are going for the same reason.
Similar reasons, yeah.
But if I'm going to a business or a seminar or somewhere, I'll find people who are asking for the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's a mindset, basically. Is that reflection also of energy? Because people always, when they think positive, they receive positive. When they think negative, they receive negative. Do you think this is also in relationships, or is not really matching?
No, 100%. I think everything's energy. Everything's energy. Like your belief systems give off energy. So that's why I'm saying, talking about self-sabotage and understanding people's behaviors. Their behavior, the way they sit, the way they act, is a reflection. The energy they give off is a reflection of the belief systems they have in their own mind. So if you believe you're confident, you're gonna sit confident and act confident. If you're scared, your body language will give off as you're scared. So it's just the same with anything. If you've got wealth and you're trying to flaunt it and you want people to see you have it, then you're gonna attract people that want wealth, that want you for just your wealth. So you attract women like that.
Okay.
So, do you know what I mean?
Okay, I don't want to mention the gold thing, but yes, I understand what you mean here. So it's an attraction.
100% it's an attraction.
It's kind of an attraction for you.
Yeah.
So that's a good one. Self-mastery, right? Or the channel, which we call it War of Self-Mastery. Is that correct?
The war to self-mastery.
The War of Self-Mastery, yeah.
Yeah.
What is that about?
I think that just kind of sums up what I teach. I think from the age of like 12, I remember thinking about self-mastery. Like I knew the answer to all my problems and challenges is through self-mastery. When I go to a club that I wanted to train at, and I was like really shy, and all the other kids like weren't very welcoming, or they wouldn't pass to me, I was like, I need to work on myself to feel better about it. I need to be more confident. I need to be more demanding of the ball and force my way in.
All about you, yourself.
Always. And then going for my career, I'm like, okay, other people are more talented than me. I need to go back to myself. Like, what can I do? What more extra work can I do? And then I spoke about how I was sabotaging subtly with belief systems. So then I was always trying to work out, how do I overcome fear? How do I overcome fear of failure? Just YouTubing, books, like studying. I used to watch Bruce Lee all the time and listen to what he used to talk. He used to talk about self-mastery all the time. People like Kobe Bryant, like these kind of guys talk about that stuff. So I was always felt like I was at a war with myself. I always felt like I'm holding my back. I've come so far, but I know I'm holding myself back a lot. So if I can just like cut that off and get to that self-mastery, then I can really go somewhere.
That's a very, very, very nice way of saying it as well. So I advise people definitely to watch this and also to talk to you about it, the self-mastery part. I think it's really amazing. Back to Dubai side. Yes, so your decision to move to Dubai here with a family and so on. People talk about Dubai a lot. People who doesn't know Dubai, they talk about it a lot. Some of them, they're jealous because they're not here. Some of them, they just don't understand why it's so successful and it's always growing that way. For me, I have my view living here 20 years. I know that it's based always on leadership. The leadership have the right vision. God bless them. They made it where it is, and it's still growing, attracting everyone from the world to be here. Do you think your job that you're trying to do here with self-train, the best place to be is Dubai?
For me?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Why?
The opportunities here is another level. The network you can build here, another level. The network I built, so I said I moved here in November.
Last year.
Yeah. The network I have built in a year, the people who I've met and have a relationship with now, I haven't been able to build that in the UK over my whole life, basically. But I started business and networking probably when I was 25. So from 25 to 35 years, I built a better network in Dubai than I did 5 years in the UK. Like, the opportunities is
not
crazy.
comparable.
No, it's not comparable.
And do you think people in Dubai accepting the fact of learning more than other regions because of the diversity, the inclusion that we have in the city here?
We talk about energy.
Yeah.
And I think people get pulled here. People with the certain...
It's the energy again.
Yeah, the certain level of mindset of what they want, they get pulled to come to Dubai. So I was speaking to someone yesterday, a property guy who just opened up his own property company. He was saying the same. He was like, I couldn't have done this in Australia. He was from Australia. I couldn't have done this in Australia.
It's not possible.
For some reason, I got pulled to Dubai. It's like the energy, it's like, it works over here. It's like it pulls them over because I believe in like what's the word for it? Like a collective consciousness.
Okay.
Like if there's so many people that are the same way, the same energy, they believe in the same things,
It grows.
there's a certain energy, and people that connect to that will get pulled towards it. So I feel like I got pulled towards Dubai. I would have never thought I would go to Dubai. I came to Dubai a year before I came last year on holiday. I was like, my miss was speaking about moving here. I was like, no. Why?
Not
Why would I
really.
move? Yeah, why would I move here? And then the football stuff started happening, the entrepreneurship started happening,
Fine.
and then I got pulled to Dubai. I'm like, Dubai again. Like, why did that happen?
Okay.
So it's definitely an energy. Like people here are so much more open because everyone wants to grow. There's less ego here for sure, in terms of like just being willing to just collaborate. It's just that kind of vibe. Everyone's very, very similar.
And I think it's a very important point, because Dubai is a city for everyone. And that's a big success again from the leadership here to make it feel that way. So you never feel that there are locals and residents, people coming from everywhere in the world with different nationalities. I think we reach already 200 nationalities in Dubai.
Is it?
And these people to live together in one place, following the same system, the same rule, discipline, consistency, everything that we talk about, that's not easy. And I think it's a big success. But back to the energy part, I think the energy in Dubai is going like the snowball, regardless of the weather for sure, which is not snowy here. But it grows and grows and grows, and it grows into people, driving them, as you mentioned, pulling them towards Dubai to start building themselves here. To your part of self-train, do you want to go only in Dubai, or you want to go global? You want to go regional? How do you see yourself after, let's say, 2-3 years from now?
I never really think that far ahead. I always try and like, I did it with my career as well. Whenever I used to try and think too far ahead, I always used to fail.
So you focus on now.
Yeah, or at least just in the immediate future. Because sometimes when you like try and go too far, it's almost like there's no point because it's just too far away. Like you can't even piece the things together.
Predicting.
Yeah, it's too hard. And my life has never been that. Any success I've always had, my life has always changed like around the corner. When I made my debut for Liverpool, it came off the back of the worst part of my career, where I was on loan to a League One club. I couldn't even get in the squad. I was like, how the fuck am I going to play for Liverpool if I can't get in the squad here? Like, it made no sense to me. So if I tried to look forward to playing for Liverpool, it would just seem like impossible. It would have just made me feel shit. And then I got injured. I had to go back to Liverpool to do rehab. I done my rehab there, started training there. Klopp came in, went up, bang, happened.
Everything happened for a reason.
Changed like that.
Everything happened.
And then if you told me a year ago that I'm going to retire and I'm going to be in companies training staff, and I'll be like, what?
Very hard
Speaking in front of like hundreds of people, I'm like, what the fuck? No way.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, now I just go with the flow, bro. I go with the flow. I'm like, okay, what do I need to do today, tomorrow, next week? And I just go. But if I had to think about it, I would like to have a strong core team of like savages, like coaches, like similar to me, just going around, just like tearing up companies, like changing them completely, like pushing their performance through the roof, teaching everybody about mindset, teaching everybody about self-mastery, improving individuals, improving teams. And I just see us traveling around, like wherever we're needed, we'll go.
So tell me about top 3 things that impacting everybody's mindset.
3 things that will impact them. That
impact or make it like, make your mindset change.
Yeah. I think one that people miss, fitness is a massive one. A lot of people that have problems or insecurities, I think majority of them will disappear if they get in shape.
Okay.
Majority will disappear if they get in shape.
Number 1, fitness.
Okay. Second one is to wake up. I call it the war to self-mastery because you have to wake up to the war. Like, how could you win a war that you don't know you're fighting?
Correct.
You would just lose every time. You just get killed by the opponent because you don't even know you're fighting it. So that's why people wouldn't be fit, because I use fitness as a tool to fight against self-sabotage, against my negative thoughts. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not just for a body or for a physique. That's the byproduct. The first thing is that it makes you feel better. It helps you overcome like self-doubt. So in the morning, I always wake up. Majority of the time, I wake up like doubting stuff. Like, can I do this? I'm just a footballer. I can't do this business side. Like, I'll have them thoughts in the mornings. Then I train. Then I'm like, I'm a beast. Like, I can do everything. Like, I'm the best. I go from literally that end of the spectrum to the next.
To the next one.
So that's what fitness does for me. And then obviously as a byproduct, you're healthy because you train every day. And if you know that it does that, it's like a drug, you want to do it every day.
That's very true.
You never miss a day. Why would you want to miss a day? Because you know the day you miss, you have negative thoughts and you don't like yourself.
And you start feeling bad already.
Yeah. So that's number 1. Second one is to wake up to the war. So there's other things that you can do. You going through your day being conscious of what your thoughts are. So I needed to be more conscious throughout my career because a lot of my thoughts weren't aligned to where I want to go. Okay, I want to play in the Premier League, but my mind's telling me that I'm not good enough. It doesn't match. It's not aligned. So I would never be conscious enough to change those thoughts. I would just take them with me throughout my whole day. So you got to be very conscious, like, of everything you believe in, always. And the third one, I think, is just reconnect to like the spirituality side.
Okay.
People think they're not spiritual. Every time I speak about it, it's like, ask everyone, who believes that they're spiritual? Everyone's like, nah. Because it sounds wishy-washy.
Because they don't understand what does it mean spiritual.
No, but I think because people give it a bad name. Like, you get weird hippies that, like, people think that's what spirituality
is not crazy.
No, it's just your connection. It's your connection to all that is. It's a connection to God. If you believe in God, it's a connection to religion. It's then I change. I'm like, okay, who believes in their intuition? Like your gut feeling.
For sure.
That's your spirituality. So you're spiritual.
Okay, so you try to explain to them what does it mean to be spiritually driven, let's say.
Yeah.
And then they found out it's not as they think. It's not only about being out of the way and believing in something. People will question you and stuff
like
that.
hugging trees and taking your shoes off and like walking on the ground and shit. Like, it ain't that. It's literally just like what you see is the physical world, but that's not what all there is. There's more. There's more like in the unseen. So the reason why I would stop playing football and do this is because my intuition told me to do that.
To move.
And if you carry on, like you're gonna fail.
So you have to believe this intuition. You say that.
That's the truth.
What you feel.
It's the truth. It's the only true thing about you in your life. So every time I'll go to the gym. I go to the gym so I can remove my negative thoughts, so I can like listen to God, to the universe of like what I'm supposed to do, what I'm supposed to do next. What do you want me to do? But the hard thing is that it tells you to do like some scary stuff. It's like, Kev, quit your football career and go and impact lives. I'm like, no way. I'm not fucking doing it.
Very big decision.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't listen to it. So then they keep going down that path and the doors keep getting closed on their face because they're not listening to the spirituality side, the universal intelligence that people get given. It's like downloads.
That's very important what you're saying. 100%. So to change your mindset, so fitness, number one, find your way to your self-mastery basically and understand who you are, what you think you are, and connect to your spiritual part or side of yourself and be clear that this is actually a real thing. Not just words and not just dreaming and hugging 100%. Trees, as you mentioned. It's a big word.
Yeah.
Part of the things that I like about you that you have your own opinion, right? And I think it's not matching everyone else. And I totally think this is an advantage because if you are a coach, I'm a coach myself, but more on the business side, I'm an advisor and so on. If I have the same opinion as others, there's no unique value for me. So I believe what you're having is very unique. And one of them that's catchy for me always is about motivation. And you mentioned this in many places, but if you can tell us also about why you believe motivation is not the most important thing, if I'm calling it right, and what can replace that?
But everyone, this is what everyone talks about all the time. And these are the questions I get. When I hear motivation, I'm like, I want to punch the guy. I'm like, have you not learned yet? Like, the problem is people believe that they're supposed to feel a certain way before they act. So if they want to do something, but they're scared, then they won't do it. Or they feel that if they don't feel up for it, then they shouldn't do it. Like they feel like something's wrong with them because they don't feel like doing hard things. But you're not supposed to want to feel like that. Why would you feel like that? If everybody felt like doing all the hard things, then everybody would be successful.
It's easy.
The only thing that separates you and someone else would be that there was a bunch of hard things that were in your way and you decided to do them anyways, without motivation. The problem with the guys that fail is because they wait for themselves to feel good before they execute.
So what you're saying basically is that don't wait for it to be motivating for you to do it.
Yeah.
There's some stuff you still have to do without motivation.
So you said how do you replace that? You replace that with purpose.
Purpose.
What your purpose is.
Find your purpose.
Create your purpose.
Create
it. Like dig deep. Think about your life. Think about some pain in your life. How did your parents raise you? Did they come from another country and risk their whole life? Come with no money just to give you a better opportunity? Okay, now do you not want to repay them? Okay, so if you now have that in your mind, even when you don't feel motivated, your mind's gonna go to, oh, my mom, I need to create a better life for her. She was broke. She worked 3 jobs just to support me. So that's why I'm going to carry on going, even if I don't feel good.
So that's the purpose.
Yeah, that's the purpose.
So when you say create your purpose, it means that you need to think about and connecting it to your life experience at the moment to create your purpose, and then you base it on the actions that you will take, regardless of the motivation side.
Exactly. But when motivation comes, like, amazing.
It's amazing.
Love it. Keep going. Push. Keep going. When it goes, you can't stop.
So purpose and motivation, they can come aside, they can come along, they can complement each other. But if you remove motivation, you still have the purpose, you can still go.
Yeah, yeah. It's like having a gym buddy.
Yeah.
Like, you can't rely on him to come every time, because if you rely on him,
you will not go.
You not go. Then you get out of shape, and then you're done. You're finished.
Okay.
But okay, if he comes, amazing. Like, it's so fun. It's good. But if you don't turn up tomorrow, you still go.
That's a very good way of putting it.
Yeah,
as well.
100%. Because think about like all the people before. I spoke about that parent coming over. Imagine do you think they felt like risking it all to come over? They didn't feel like it. They weren't motivated. They was not motivated.
That's a very good point.
I just think people that say that, they're just very entitled.
They find an excuse.
Yeah, they're shallow. They're scared.
They're finding excuse.
Let's
put it this way.
Yeah.
Which I hate as well. So, do you use all of these mindset changing points with your kids as well, even they're very young?
Yeah.
They do that
hard.
from now.
Hard, yeah.
And they're accepting it. They understand it.
Yeah, it's fun. Even on the way here, because I talk a lot on videos.
Yeah.
So they pick up what I talk about. So they talk about it as well. So in the car, they were like talking to each other about mindset.
Really?
They do stuff like that all the time. They're like, let's talk about. They'll get bored. They'll be like, let's talk about mindset, and they'll like repeat some of the things that I say.
That's amazing.
But they understand it though. It's weird because they understand it, because I'll ask them questions on it.
Okay.
I'm like,
you're testing that.
Yeah. So they were actually talking about being out of shape in the car, because I always say that. I talk about that, and I was like, all right. So what's the problem with being out of shape? Like, why is it not very good? Why do you think you should be fit, be in shape? And they would just start answering it. They'd be like, oh, because you won't be able to do all the things that you want to do, or you wouldn't be able to play with your kids as much because you'd get tired, and then you wouldn't believe in yourself, so then you wouldn't be able to achieve anything. They will start saying stuff like that. Yeah.
So just for the audience, how old are your kids?
6 and 4.
6 and 4, and they're talking about mindset. So that's a really big thing. So good job.
Yeah.
Before we conclude here, Kevin, you mentioned that you wanna transform and help. You said, I want to tear apart corporates or businesses. What's your main direction of that? How you sell this part in their mindset to be able to have you as their coach?
Yeah,
what's the trigger point?
I think a lot of companies relate, and they kind of value and very interested by the culture of a dressing room, like a winning team, or like a high level team, or high level athletes, how they operate, how they work together. How do they get the best out of each other? How do they perform the highest? I've been around that my whole life. So I know who a bad egg is. I know who can perform and who can't. I know why they're not performing. I know, like, there's so many arguments in sport, and there's so many like just bitching and arguments. So you understand where it comes from and why it happens. And I think when I walk into, and the standards in professional sports, in the culture, is so high. Like, everyone's always on time. Most of the, there's big fines. You know, you can't leave things laying around. If you go to the showers, you have to wear flip-flops. Like, there's so many rules, and the standards are so high, so you're always on guard. But then when I go into companies, the standards are so low.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, but this is why performance isn't as high as you want it, because your standards are so low. Any club that's like about to get relegated and a new manager comes in, the first thing he sees is that the standards are awful.
So you focus on building the right standards from the beginning, first of all.
Yeah.
So this is the basic foundation that you enter the company and tell them, I want to fix this part.
Yeah.
In a way. Is that correct?
That, and then it's like, you need to figure out who are the triers, who want to get better, and who is just entitled and they're just fucking around. And these can't be changed.
So the followers are followers.
Yeah, but they're not even followers.
But the people who want to drive a change are different than followers.
Yeah.
This is how
people that, like, I'll go in and look for people that want to have a better career, that want to move on and do things, that want to make more money. These are the ones that are coachable. Then I can do what I do best, and that's coaching individuals of how to be the best version of themselves, how to overcome fear, how to overcome self-sabotage, how to be higher performers, how to get fitter so their mindset's stronger. Like these guys, but I can't coach these guys that are unmotivated. I didn't do that. I'm just like, you set a standard, you raise the standards, and the ones that are willing will rise to them. The other ones that aren't, they'll just fall off.
Will stay there where they are.
They have to go.
Fall out.
No, they can't stay where they are, because that won't be aligned to where the company wants to go. They'll just like pull the team back.
Okay, that's a good entry point as well for the companies.
Yeah.
First, you're doing a great job, I think, and the story for me is very it's very passionate, first of all, and also it clicks in my mind that not everything you have to do the same way for a long time, even if you love it.
That's a big one.
There's a lot of things that can drive you as the signs of you that make you move to the next level and next direction. But at the same time, what I feel from you, talking to you as well, that you still have the same passion for it. You love it. You want to coach people. You want to train people. You want to make sure that you use what you have experienced before in football, in coaching corporates and coaching companies and helping them on these kind of building standards, as you mentioned, which I think it's a great work.
Appreciate it.
Changing your mindset for mindset of your kids and talking about mindset for now
crazy.
at this age, for me, I think to guys who are talking about Dubai, look at this generation right now, who are actually will be raised in Dubai after you move here, and they can influence more people as well about mindset, learning from their dad. What you can advise people before we conclude here, Kevin, if they're having tough times in their businesses or in their relationships, as we mentioned in Dubai, it's happened a lot. What's the best advice that you can give them?
I think it's always going to be being self-reflective, understanding that you're the creator of everything. People like pass on responsibility of all the bad things that happen in their life.
Blame.
Like they have to, blame, or they have to just settle with it, but they didn't, or just the fact that they didn't create it. Like everyone will, all the good things that happen in their life, they take ownership. They're like, I did that. I was disciplined. I pushed hard. I worked for it. But then all the bad things in their life, they don't take ownership. It's either someone else or something else. It's like you created that as well. If you understand how the mind works and how manifestation works, at some point you would have had thoughts about that thing and you created it. So you always have to look inwards, fix yourself. Like it's never a business problem, it's a personal problem going into your business. It's not a relationship problem, it's a personal problem going into your relationship. So throughout my whole career, it's always been about self-development. It's always been about me. Because if it isn't about me, then I've lost the power. I can't change it. And it doesn't feel very good for me.
You're driven by yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
So this is self-determined.
Self-determined, yeah.
Self-driven, same thing.
100%. 100%. It's a good one.
So I just self-development. Always run to self-development. Training, mentors, mentorship, books, whatever.
Focus on yourself. 100%.
Yeah. Learn what your weaknesses are, and that's going to war with yourself. Being conscious of what your thoughts are, and you change everything through your thoughts. Everything. And once you change your internal world, then it's just a matter of time before your physical changes.
It reflects on everything outside. Well, great advices, and it was a great pleasure to have you today.
Appreciate
Kevin.
it.
Really, it was very nice discussion. I think we can talk for a very long time because what we're talking about is impacting a lot of people's lives. A lot of people, they live all their lives, they don't find themselves, as I call it, right? Which is part of what you're talking about in a life way. It's part of businesses that we run every day. So great discussion with you. Again, pleasure to have you here. I wish you a great Christmas and great New Year back home. And we'll definitely meet again after the New Year to discuss more about this. I wish you all the success with self-train as well.
Thank you.
I think it's a great idea of learning how to change people's lives based on your personal experience as well, and changing their mindset. So thanks a lot.
Love it. Thank you.
Good to have you here.
Thank you. Amazing host. Very
good. And so with that, we conclude our episode today with Kevin. I mean, again, I enjoyed it myself a lot. I think the discussion went very smooth and very interesting about how we learn about ourselves, first of all, and how can this help us change our lives in a good way. Doesn't matter what you're doing at the moment. If you start feeling the intuition of change, believe it, agree on it, but action it as well. Fitness is very important. I totally believe in that. Very, very important. Word to self-mastery, as Kevin mentioned, also really, really important. And the spiritual part, really, really. I believe this is something that we sometimes miss here in the busy life that we face every day. But remember these three top things from Kevin. And again, I thank Kevin to be here. I also thank our partners, Davai Dubai and Rhino Studios, for hosting us today. And more episodes to come. Please don't forget to give us our comments on that episode. And definitely, if you want to reach out to myself or definitely Kevin also for any question or remark or an advice, we're happy to support you, and talk to you soon.